Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to bulk scan assets into Razor and package them up into boxes of 20. So this is very applicable towards receiving in tons of hard drives, and you send them into a department where you need to evaluate the hard drives, grade them, and then once they're graded you're going to box them up, put a case label onto that box, and then move that case onto a pallet or onto a shelf. So we're going to start off, we're in the standard audit screen. So we're going to scan in a hard drive here. So over here we're going to scan in a UID. I'm going to scan in a serial number, and you could either put use condition and put it into a location, or what we could do is send it into the ITAD stages, which are your further processing, data collection, data destruction, etc. So if I send it over to data collection, that just means it's going to go over to this assets page, and within this assets page you're going to be able to make decisions on who's going to handle that material and what you're going to do. So I can see here we have to do a NIST 800 wipe and potentially grade the units. So we'll send everything into data collection. So you don't really have to fill out all the information in the audit screen if you don't want to. We kind of allow you to do what you need to do within these further processing steps. If you're going to send it to a resale or scrap location, you'll have different requirements that would show. So we wouldn't be able to send this into resale if all the pink items weren't selected. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a bulk insert. I'm going to add in another 19 items, and we're going to scan in the serial numbers. So what we did was a bulk insert, choose 19, and over here I did auto generate serial. I unchecked that, so when I hit generate, it gives us the opportunity to place our cursor in this field and start the receiving process. So what we're doing here is simulating the process of scanning a bunch of hard drives into the system. And once these are scanned in, we're going to be able to move them around the facility, do the grading process, and then case them up into boxed goods and move them onto a shelf or pallet. So once you're done here, you can hit save. And this is going to add the hard drives directly into the grid below. So, this is a very common process. You might receive in 500 hard drives and, follow a very similar type of process. Once you're done, we're going to move over to the asset screen, so you can go to recycling assets. Now, in this screen, it's going to show you a whole list of products. It could come from a number of sources. You can see the part number, the UID, audit status, serial number, who it came from, manufacturer, etc. So what we're going to do here is we are going to provide a relocate and update function. So this is commonly used if, let's imagine you took these 20 hard drives and you sorted them out and you determined they were all grade A, or, some were grade A, some were grade B. Eventually you would come to this screen. You'll generate a case. So this will give you a case ID. You would lock the location. So by locking the location, anything we scan in this field is going to get moved directly into this location, MAI 202. So if you have details, let's say you graded them and you need to do a mass update, make sure they're use condition, and we wanted to do grading, what we could do here is we could go over to our hard drive attribute set, and let's just say we want to label everything in A. So as we scan them, it's going to update it as use condition and A. So what we're going to do, we'll place the cursor in the UID serial field. I'm going to go over to these hard drives here, and we'll start the scan process. So every time you scan, you're going to hear a loud beep, and if it's a good beep, that means it's moved over properly. So this is kind of a nice process for the user. So if you double scan something, it's going to scan. It's going to give you a loud, actually we scanned that, just says it was already scanned into the location. So we'll move on to the next item. If you scan an item doesn't exist, it's going to give you a loud beep, so you can continue and not really worry about incorrectly scanning things. So you could go off the good beep and the error sound to, without having to visually look at the screen continually. All right, so we just scanned all 20. If you needed to validate what's in this grid, you could look. If you need to right click, you have the option to copy all these and copy with headers if you wanted to move it over to an Excel sheet, which is very nice. Once you're done packing that box into MA202, you have the opportunity to generate a 4x6 label. So we're going to do a preview of that. And basically, this is a case label. I print out on a 4x6 label. It'll give you the case ID that's scannable. It'll give you the quantity of items, the pack date, and the particular assets that were scanned into that location. So this is very common. You generate a bunch of cases, and then at the end of the day, you could scan that case number onto a pallet. So this gives you a very nice option of, scanning 40 cases of hard drives onto one pallet, and then scan that pallet onto a shelf. So the system will keep track of what's on each location, what's in each pallet, and it gives you a very nice view, a nested view on seeing, I need to find this particular case, and it will tell you it's on, case XYZ, on, pallet 2, on rack shelf 1. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go scan this location onto a pallet, and I'll show you how that looks from a user interface standpoint. Okay, so if you're ready to move an item onto a pallet, you got to use the Receive Inventory screen. So in the Receive Inventory screen, you could see all the assets that were kind of received in onto that case. If you needed to verify, you see it's grade A, everything is properly classified now. But what you need to do is hit Relocate, and you would scan the barcode of that case, and then you would scan the pallet number. So typically you would have a pallet next to you, and when that happens, it does a bulk move. Now when we refresh this page, you're going to see kind of the look on how this is particularly organized. So you have the case is located on pallet-190139. Now if you needed to move, let's say, just a pallet and you had multiple cases on that screen, you could also use the relocate function, and I'm going to scan in the pallet, and then we could pick in potentially a rack number, which I'm not really sure which one's available, but let me take a look. So what we're going to do is you would take that pallet and you'd be able to scan it into a new location. So I'm going to scan it to R1, L1, S1. So when you do that, it's going to take the pallet, any of the contents that are on that pallet will get moved all at once. So when we look at this particular location now, you're going to see case 4213 is located on pallet 1, 190139 on rack 1, L1, shelf 1. So it makes it very easy to locate a particular product. So that's how you bulk pack goods, generate a 4x6 label, and move items around the warehouse in RazorERP.